don't just tell black secrets. I tell white secrets too, because we all family. They don't lie to some of us, they lie to all of us.
All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. I'm trying to have a conversation that's not being had. And I'm really sorry that these conversations are being had by a comedian. I wish too that it was a religious leader of some kind having this conversation, or somebody's politician talking about this stuff.
Katt Williams has never been the type to stay silent, and that's exactly why Hollywood fears him. From comedy stages in the early 2000s to viral interviews in recent years, he's built a reputation not just as a comedian, but as a whistleblower exposing the entertainment industry's secrets.
He said, I'm not doing this. You are not going to get a black man, a real black man, to agree to do this to another black man.
His clashes with giants like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Kevin Hart have sparked endless debates, while his refusal to play by Hollywood's rules made him both admired and targeted.
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. You know, we get in that office and this fool pull out Big Mama's house too. I almost died. All I did was say, I want to punch it up so it's not offensive to real.
But how did it all begin? When Katt Williams first broke onto the scene, audiences were struck by his sharp wit, flamboyant style, and ability to take everyday struggles and flip them into hilarious observations. But behind the laughter, he was already carving out a different lane for himself. Unlike most comedians chasing mainstream approval, Williams wasn't afraid to call out the darker side of Hollywood. By the mid-2000s, his reputation wasn't just about comedy. It was about truth-telling.
So many funny people together in one room, all wondering the same thing. Is Katt Williams gonna show up? Oh, he's right there.
Williams has openly accused Hollywood of exploitation, particularly when it comes to black artists. He argued that the industry rewards those who conform while punishing those who refuse to bow down. In multiple interviews, Williams claimed he had insider knowledge of power structures that most fans never see. He pointed to networks of gatekeepers, secret deals, and favoritism that decided who would rise and who would be silenced.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again?
On stage and in interviews, his words cut through the laughter with raw conviction. He wasn't just joking when he called out corruption. He was warning fans about how the system worked. Lots of people in the audience laughed, but many also understood the seriousness of what he was saying. One of the most striking parts of his early whistleblower role was the way the media responded to him. Instead of addressing his critiques directly, outlets often portrayed him as unstable, difficult, or controversial. Saturday Night Live parodied him repeatedly, exaggerating his look and mannerisms. For Williams, these skits weren't harmless comedy. He interpreted them as targeted attempts to undermine his credibility and distract from the truths he was speaking about Hollywood.
I was supposed to be an Avatar. James Cameron begged me to be in it.
And then came the disputes with fellow celebrities. Williams accused Steve Harvey of stealing material from comedian Mark Curry, an allegation that stirred debates across comedy circles. He insisted that Harvey lacked originality and was more concerned with protecting his media empire than standing for real artistry. These comments positioned Williams as someone unafraid to go after powerful names, no matter the backlash.
Halloween was a trip. Halloween, we couldn't afford no Halloween costumes. Hey kids, please. Mama sent us down to the liquor store, put boxes on us.
Every Halloween, I had the same outfit on. Every year. I just had a brown box.
Even though some saw him as confrontational, others admired him for speaking out. In Williams' eyes, he was holding the line for integrity in comedy and beyond. His critics called him reckless, but his fans saw a man brave enough to say what others only whispered in private. By the late 2000s, Katt Williams wasn't just another comedian. He had become a polarizing figure, part entertainer, part truth-teller, and part agitator. Hollywood might have been the stage, but he was using that spotlight to shine on its hidden corners. His whistleblowing wasn't just about jokes. It was about exposing the corruption, dishonesty, and double standards that he believed ran the industry. And that was only the beginning of the storm to come. Katt Williams's whistleblower image grew even stronger when he started calling out some of the biggest names in entertainment. His disputes weren't just casual disagreements. They were full-blown clashes with icons like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Kevin Hart. Each feud revealed something about how Williams viewed Hollywood and why he believed the system was built to protect a select few. The tension with Oprah Winfrey shocked many fans. Williams accused her of trying to orchestrate a boycott against rapper 50 Cent, claiming that she used her platform to silence voices she didn't approve of. According to him, Oprah's influence stretched far beyond daytime television. He believed she was actively shaping which artists could thrive in Hollywood and which ones would be shut out. It's not confirmed, but all evidence points towards Oprah being part of a machine that suppresses dissent. Some fans argued online, echoing his claims. Williams's words sparked endless debates. Was he exposing hidden truths or just stirring controversy?
Oprah coming next. Once I establish this as a place of truth, oh yeah.
Then came his war of words with Tyler Perry. Williams didn't hold back when he criticized Perry's casting practices and production style. He alleged that Perry's empire was built on favoritism and backroom deals that locked out talented actors who refused to play by his rules. In a joint appearance with actor Terrence Howard, Williams accused Perry of harboring insecurities and deliberately suppressing other black actors to maintain his dominance. Fans pointed out that Perry had helped launch many careers, but Williams insisted that the cost of his success was too high, and the integrity of the industry suffered because of it.
Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
Kevin Hart, however, was the feud that kept resurfacing. Williams repeatedly accused Hart of taking movie roles that were originally meant for him. He argued that Hart wasn't just a comedian, he was a gatekeeper chosen by Hollywood to represent a safe, non-threatening version of black comedy. Williams described Hart's career rise as engineered, not earned, and suggested that his success came at the expense of more authentic voices. Hart eventually responded, but in a way that downplayed the seriousness of Williams's attacks. Speaking to People, Hart brushed off the comments as entertainment, saying that he was content with his career and had no reason to engage in public battles. To Hart, Williams's words were noise. But to Williams, this was proof that the industry elevated those willing to play the game, while sidelining those who spoke the truth.
It's really not hard if you have real problems with people and your problems are like serious. It's not hard to ever get to a person and really like address the problem correctly. The problems that people have with me, they aren't my problems.
Each of these feuds highlighted the same theme: Williams against the Hollywood establishment. Whether it was Oprah allegedly pulling strings, Perry running a closed-off empire, or Hart acting as a gatekeeper, Williams saw himself as the lone voice, willing to expose it all. And the more he spoke out, the more the entertainment industry and his fellow celebrities began to fear what he might reveal next. If there was ever proof that Katt Williams didn't fear confrontation, it was his ongoing feud with Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer. Both men were household names, loved for their roles in the original Kings of Comedy, sitcoms, and talk shows. But Williams wasn't impressed. In his eyes, they represented everything wrong with the industry: taking shortcuts, recycling material, and selling an image that wasn't real. Williams repeatedly accused Steve Harvey of stealing jokes, not just from him, but from comedian Mark Curry as well. He claimed Harvey fabricated stories about his tough upbringing to make his rise to fame sound more dramatic. Williams saw this as a kind of fraud, a way of manufacturing credibility instead of earning it. Lots of fans think that Harvey built his career off other people's originality. One discussion thread online argued, repeating Katt's accusations. Williams's stance was clear. Comedy should be about truth, and Harvey, in his view, wasn't living up to that.
Halloween was a trip. Halloween, we couldn't afford no Halloween costumes. Hey, kids, please. Mama sent us down to the liquor store, put boxes on us.
Every Halloween, I had the same outfit on. Every year. I just had a brown box.
The feud got even more personal when Williams claimed both Harvey and Cedric had previously admitted to stealing material. He said they had apologized privately, but never owned up publicly. This made the tension even sharper because Cedric, in particular, denied the allegations. Williams accused Cedric of stealing one of his best jokes, a bit that ended up in the 2000 film, The Original Kings of Comedy. Cedric brushed it off, saying if Williams had a problem, he should have spoken up sooner. To Cedric, the whole matter seemed like old business not worth revisiting. Cedric's denial, however, reopened the wound, fueling more interviews and sound bites where Williams doubled down on his accusations.
Nobody knows why liars lie. And that's why I had to come on the program. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke? Yeah. He said, it don't line up.
But Williams didn't let it go. For him, the issue wasn't just about one joke. It was about integrity in comedy and respect among peers. He believed that Harvey and Cedric represented a larger pattern. Established figures benefiting from the originality of others while presenting themselves as legends. To Williams, it was another example of how Hollywood rewarded the polished, safe faces while undermining the raw, authentic voices. Steve Harvey, for his part, refused to respond publicly. He stayed silent, a move many interpreted as him refusing to give Williams attention. Others saw the silence as telling, as if Harvey didn't want to reopen a controversy that could damage his carefully built brand. The feud between Williams, Harvey, and Cedric became one of the most talked about disputes in comedy circles. It wasn't just about jokes, it was about credibility, power, and legacy. Williams made it clear that he wasn't going to back down, even if it meant going against comedy royalty. In doing so, he positioned himself as the outsider, willing to risk everything to tell the truth. By the time the dust settled, Williams's reputation as Hollywood's loudest whistleblower was even stronger. Whether fans believed every word or not, one thing was clear: he wasn't afraid to challenge the legends. And that made him unpredictable and dangerous to anyone guarding their image in the comedy world. Katt Williams's whistleblower reputation reached another level when his name became linked with Dave Chappelle. Both men were seen as outsiders who refused to bend to Hollywood's demands. But their relationship wasn't simple. At times, Williams praised Chappelle as a hero. At other times, he questioned whether Chappelle's most famous move, walking away from a $50 million Comedy Central deal in 2005, was really as noble as people believed. In a 2024 sit-down on Shannon Sharp's club Shay Shay podcast, Williams spoke directly about Chappelle's decision. He said, "I respect him for walking away from the money." Williams explained that the pressures of the entertainment industry could break even the strongest minds, and it took real courage to walk away. To him, Chappelle's refusal to compromise showed strength. Many fans saw this as Williams extending an olive branch, acknowledging a fellow comedian who had fought against exploitation.
Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole out.
But that wasn't the only angle. Williams also suggested in other interviews that Chappelle's walkaway might not have been entirely voluntary. He hinted at the possibility of external pressure, saying all evidence suggested that industry power players could have influenced Chappelle's decision.
Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us.
To Williams, it raised questions. Was Chappelle leaving for personal integrity, or was he being pushed out because he wouldn't play ball with Hollywood's system? Fans debated endlessly, some siding with Williams' suspicions, others defending Chappelle's choice as an act of pure resistance. Chappelle eventually responded. During a performance at the Hollywood Improv in 2024, he addressed Williams directly, without mentioning his name too lightly. Chappelle said, "He only ethered NS. He didn't say anything about any of these white boys. His point was clear. He felt Williams was spending too much time targeting fellow black comedians instead of addressing the broader industry that controlled them all. We're comedians. We don't attack each other," he added, stressing unity over rivalry. The exchange showed how complicated their relationship really was. Both were critics of Hollywood's corruption. Both were admired for their honesty, but they didn't always agree on how the fight should be carried out. Williams believed in calling out individuals, holding them accountable one by one. Chappelle, on the other hand, argued that comedians should support each other and focus their firepower on the larger structures that oppress them. Still, their shared critiques of Hollywood could not be ignored. Chappelle's 2021 Netflix special The Closer stirred debates about censorship and creative freedom. Williams, in his own interviews and on his Heaven on Earth comedy tour, raised alarms about exploitation and dishonesty in entertainment. Even when they clashed, both men pushed the same message. Hollywood was not what it seemed, and the public needed to start questioning it. In many ways, Williams and Chappelle represented two sides of the same coin, one direct and confrontational, the other subtle but equally biting. Whether allies or rivals, their voices combined made it impossible for Hollywood to ignore the criticism.
So many funny people together in one room, all wondering the same thing. Is Katt Williams gonna show up? Oh, he's right there.
Katt Williams' whistleblower image wasn't only about calling out celebrities. It was also about standing his ground when it came to the work he put on screen. One of the clearest examples came during the production of Friday After Next in 2002, the third film in the cult favorite Friday franchise. Williams played the unforgettable character Money Mike, a flashy pimp with quick wit and sharp dialogue. But behind the scenes, he fought a battle most fans never heard about.
Think about your mama, man.
Think about my mama. Think about your ass.
Think about what your mama say. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? I got a little razzle-dazzle. It's all right. My name is Money Mike, player. How you doing? All right.
According to Williams, the original script included a scene where his character would be sexually assaulted. He believed this was wrong, not only because it was inappropriate for a comedy, but also because it crossed a line of taste and integrity. Williams pushed back hard, arguing that the joke wasn't funny and would only damage the film. His refusal to accept the scene forced changes in the final cut. The controversial moment never made it to screen, and Williams' stance was praised by those who later learned about it.
The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got raped in the bathroom, and that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with.
This wasn't just a minor detail. For Williams, it was proof that he valued ethics over shock value. He showed that even as a new actor in a big franchise, he wasn't going to compromise his standards for a paycheck. Fans who discovered the story years later pointed to it as evidence of his authenticity. Someone willing to put principle above career, even when the industry expected silence. Williams' integrity extended beyond movies. In interviews, he spoke about cancel culture and why he didn't fully buy into the concept. He argued that cancel culture often targeted people who were already marginalized, while the real power players at the top remained untouched. He framed the issue as another example of misplaced accountability. In his view, the focus should always be on those in positions of control, not the performers struggling against them. This skepticism of cancel culture made Williams stand out even more in a time when celebrities were often quick to apologize or retreat. Instead, he doubled down on speaking truth as he saw it, regardless of who it offended. For him, comedy wasn't just about laughs, it was about honesty, and honesty had no safety net.
In our industry, who pays you is who tells you what narrative you're allowed to use. And I'm not paid, so I own my narrative. That is what makes my opinion valuable at all.
The theme of integrity showed up again in his activism. On his Heaven on Earth comedy tour, Williams often mixed humor with raw critiques of the industry. He wasn't afraid to talk about the ways he believed Hollywood exploited its talent, the dishonesty behind media narratives, and the struggles of staying authentic in an industry built on image. Through all of this, Williams made one thing clear: he would never let Hollywood dictate his morals. Whether cutting out a scene from Friday After Next or refusing to bend to public pressure during controversies, he drew a line that few comedians dared to. In a business built on compromise, Katt Williams showed he was willing to risk everything to keep his voice intact. By the time the 2020s rolled around, Katt Williams had built a reputation that no other comedian could match. He wasn't just a performer, he was a truth teller. And according to fans, that truth-telling is exactly why so many celebrities were afraid of him. Williams had made enemies at every level of the industry, and his refusal to back down made him unpredictable. Take Kevin Hart, for example. Even Eddie Murphy weighed in on their feud, saying Hart had reasons to be cautious around Williams. Some fans interpreted Murphy's words as a sign that even legends recognized Williams's power to shake the comedy world. Hart's carefully built image of mainstream success clashed directly with Williams's raw, unfiltered authenticity. That contrast alone fueled the idea that Hart feared losing control of the narrative whenever Williams spoke his name. It wasn't just comedians. Ice Cube, another powerhouse in both music and film, also spoke on why figures like Oprah Winfrey seemed to tread carefully around Williams. Internet debates exploded after clips circulated suggesting Oprah, despite her influence, didn't want to engage directly with Williams' accusations. To his supporters, this was proof that his words carried weight even with the most powerful names in entertainment.
Just wanted to address a few things. Everybody been checking out the internet. My man Katt Williams. First of all, I just want to...
Other celebrities got pulled into the discussion too. Online speculation highlighted Marlon Wayans and Taraji P. Henson as examples of stars who kept their distance, with fan theories insisting they were terrified of what Williams might say if provoked. It's not confirmed, but all evidence suggests that Hollywood's biggest names don't want smoke with Katt, one viral post read. And for good reason, Williams had already proven that no name was too big to be called out. But while fans celebrated his fearlessness, tragedy followed him as well. In August 2025, news broke that Reggie Carroll, a comedian associated with Williams' Heaven on Earth tour, was fatally shot.
Comedian Reggie Carroll has died. He was 52 years old.
Reports identified the suspect as Trenell Marquise Williams, a security guard who had been working for Katt at the time. The shocking incident cast a shadow over the tour and reignited conversations about the dangers surrounding Williams' career. Some fans suggested it showed just how volatile life became for those in his orbit. Others pointed out that, even in tragedy, the media coverage seemed to focus more on controversy than compassion. Despite setbacks and loss, Williams continued to double down on his message. He described 2024 as the age of truth, insisting that fans had to look past Hollywood's glitz and start questioning what really went on behind the scenes. For supporters, this cemented his role not just as a comedian, but as a whistleblower determined to expose the corruption and dishonesty he believed defined the industry. Today, Katt Williams stands as one of the most polarizing figures in comedy. Loved by fans for his unfiltered honesty and hated by some celebrities for his relentless criticism, he occupies a rare space in entertainment. Fear, or respect, whichever word fits, his presence forces Hollywood to pay attention. Because if Katt Williams decides to speak your name, the whole world will be listening.